Hello and welcome to the Trampled Bat Podcast, episode 125. I'm Gary Black and joining me this week is John Walker.
Hello.
And Joseph Goss.
Hello.
How are you both?
I'm alright.
I can't believe, just because Chris isn't here, we get through the intro first time.
I just wanted to see if you'd fuck it up. Like, I wanted to see if you'd stutter thinking one of us was going to do it.
I nearly did it, but I did it the last time, and it felt like a cliche to do it again.
So I believe, John, this week you got spotted.
I did. So, have we got any new patrons we need to praise? No.
No, that's why I'm doing this bit.
So I went for lunch on Monday with Jennifer and Ella.
You maybe can't mention the specific place.
I won't.
Yeah.
So I went in for lunch and Jennifer and Ella are not there yet, so I've asked for a table for free. And he's went, no problem, where do you want to sit? And talking away to him, and he goes, it's going to sound like a really dumb question and a really weird question. Do you do a podcast? And I was like, yeah. He goes, you John Walker? I was like, yes. And he was like, yeah, my name's Ewan. I've listened to podcasts for a while. I've spoke to Gary like back in a while. So I was like, all right, cool. So I'm telling Jennifer, trying to explain to a 10-year-old how cool it is that I've been one of our 50 fans has recognised me.
Fans is a push, John.
But it's essentially been the first ever use of a Trampled Bat voucher because he took 50% off the bill.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
I was like, pays to do podcasting, people.
Finally, it only took 9 years and
125 nights of my life.
and you finally got some free shit out of it. Well done.
You'd have ordered extra if he'd said.
Exactly, but it was super appreciated. And he did, I believe you messaged him and he did say, because he's not joined Patreon,
yeah.
Or he left. I don't know. I think he said he's going to live in Plymouth or something. So best of luck in the opposite end of the
country. I need to go in the next couple of weeks now?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks very much, Ian.
Very appreciated.
If you don't work in a place where you can give us a 50% discount, you can join Patreon and get access to lots of extra content.
Was it not someone called Ewan that recognised me outside Maggie Mays as well?
Yeah.
The younger guy. Guy was on a date.
Yeah. You just attract Ewans wherever you go.
But that was what Jennifer was saying. I must have a really distinctive voice because I look nothing like the photo.
It's because you said a table for free.
And you only got 50% off.
Imagine his disappointment when you two didn't turn up as well.
Oh, I know. I thought it was a live recording.
He's in the back doing his hair like, this is my big moment. So,
oh, you changed it round. You went so and not so.
Well, you got to mix your catchphrase up sometimes to keep it fresh.
You've got a different guest in today. He's going to mix around the words, you know?
Well, what I was going to say was the only reason you're here is we need you to explain the death of Rutger Hauer to John because he has no idea who he is.
All right, okay. Rutger Hauer was an actor, some might say. Most famously, he was in Blade Runner. He was Roy Batty. Is it Roy Batty? You're looking at
you're here.
Out of all the other people in this room that I thought would have told me something about Blade Runner, I'm looking right at you, Gary.
I've only seen it once and I was half asleep.
That sounds like the way everyone has ever seen Blade Runner. I've seen Blade Runner once and I was half asleep as well. But no, he was an actor of distinction. He was in Blade Runner. He was also in, more recently, Batman Begins.
Who was in Batman Begins?
He was one of the CEOs, like the sort of main CEO that's like the...
Oh, I know who he is.
There you go.
He's the one that takes over the full business when they think Christian Bale's dead.
Yes.
All this time you knew exactly who he was.
And now I can actually see him in Blade Runner.
There you go.
Was it didn't have an appearance in Blade Runner, the remake, did he?
No, he didn't. Because I actually really like that one.
Me too.
I like that one more than the original one. But
see, I've put that down to just my clear attraction to Ryan Gosling. So I've assumed that's what...
You don't think his eyes are too close together?
No.
I do. Not like a lot. And I'm not saying he's not a good looking guy, but you know.
I did do a little research and I found out that in 1999, Rutger Hauer was named as Best Actor of the Century.
By who?
By the Dutch public.
They'd be slightly biased, I think, would they not?
Yeah, probably.
No. So that was Rutger Hauer.
Okay. So what else has he been in then? Because I now can see his face in a lot of things.
He was in Hobo with a Shotgun.
Nah.
Never heard of that. No, it's pretty self-explanatory. I don't have to tell you anything else. And he was in this road movie where he was like a hitchhiker or something like that. And he was just really menacing in it as well. I've seen it years and years ago. I wish I could remember, but it was a very good performance from him. He was just kind of like a character actor more than a superstar. Very well respected, very well liked.
Paid bills.
And he is the in-joke that me and my friends have whenever we say, oh, who was that actor? And I think it was Rutger Hauer, wasn't it? Yeah. So Rutger Hauer has been in pretty much everything. If you confuse somebody or the other, I say, oh no, that was Rutger Hauer. So
the news reports say he died of an unspecified illness.
Being 75 years old, I reckon, just being old.
Yeah, there is a point at an age where they don't do an autopsy, surely.
Yeah.
But they just go, that person's dead.
He's so fucking dead.
Aye. Like, I honestly take that down to under 50.
Yeah.
Like, no, 50, sorry. If you're under 50, you get a full autopsy to find out what happened. Over 50, you go, some people just die. And Rutger Hauer was one of them.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Rutger. We've done you justice.
Our other death this week is a boxer.
Oh.
Called Maxim Dadachev.
What age was he?
28.
Right, okay, this is going to require an autopsy.
Yeah.
Based on the news.
It's probably pretty clear what put him down.
I mean, you say that,
repeated punches to the head.
Well, yeah, I think the first time I seen this was Eddie Hearn tweet about it, because presumably from looking at the path, if the guy had won, he would have almost certainly made it an Eddie Hearn promotion in his next fight, because he would have had a clean record.
I'm aware that when I say he's Russian, it sort of brings up this image of like a seedy warehouse brawl. It was at the MGM in Baltimore.
Oh yeah, it was a pretty big fight.
Yeah, it was like a proper big glam lights and glitz and
yes,
all the stuff that goes along with big glamorous boxing matches.
Well, this is the thing that
is this what they're doing now to try and catch up with MMA, because MMA has taken over it so much.
Yeah,
cunts have just got to start fucking dying for ratings now.
But this was the kind of the issue that I had with this though, was with the Joshua fight 2 months ago. Was that there's all these reports that he get knocked out in sparring 2 weeks before the fight, and that he shouldn't have been fighting, and that he wanted to fight.
Well, of course he did, because the money on the table,
and that was why his father was going so mental in the ring at the end of the fight to Eddie Hearn, was saying he shouldn't have been near a ring. And there's reports from Showtime, who cover all the boxing in America, saying that he was having a panic attack 10 minutes before he went out, didn't want to come out. You seen him come out into the ring, and he didn't look like he wanted to be there, where promoters are letting boxers make decisions that actually can end up with people fucking dead.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know any circumstances, but to me, it doesn't seem like you get punched once and that would cause the brain hemorrhage that it did.
No.
To kill a 20-year-old. That seems like he's probably taking a bit of a beating during the match.
Yeah, not a 28-year-old boxer. Like, you could probably punch me once and like kill me, because I'm not trained to be punched in the face.
Yeah.
But not like a guy that professionally gets hit by other people. Like,
and also to have a 13-0 record with 11 knockouts prior to this, probably hasn't been hit by many people. So you wouldn't expect there'd be a recurring issue there. It seems, and it also seems weird that his corner had to stop the fight.
Yeah,
like the ref was still letting it go.
Did you say his corner or his coroner?
His
coroner definitely stopped the fight.
When it got to the second one, yeah, it was over.
I was reading it was quite grim. Like, so the match was stopped and he was being helped back into the dressing room. I don't think he even made it to the dressing room. He collapsed on the way in, and
oh man!
I mean, there's risks in all sports, but to be offering yourself up to be smacked in the head really hard repeatedly is
yeah.
I'm honestly surprised more people don't die more often. I'm not a big UFC guy or anything, but I saw a video a couple weeks ago from some fight where the guy won in the first 4 seconds or something.
Like jumped
he
up
literally flew in the air and kneed this guy right in the face.
Jorge Masvidal.
And then when he hit the ground and it was clear, because as soon as that guy got hit in the face, it was clear that he was down.
Still got two.
He still got like 2 or 3 full-on smacks in the face, and before the ref came over and broke it up. And then afterwards, they were like, why'd you keep hitting him on the ground? And the guy was like, well, the ref hadn't called the fight yet. No, the ref didn't have to call it. You just fucking called it with your entire knee. like I'm genuinely surprised more people don't die more often doing this.
So I'm a big Olympics fan. I'll watch anything that's part of the Olympics, and the Olympic boxing always seems quite good because they're not as bulky.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a head protection on, and it's about skillfully, it's almost like the same as fencing. It's about making contact with the body, making contact with the head, but you're not really trying to murder someone. But just, especially, when you get up to that heavyweight division and they're just monsters thumping each other in the face, it seems unnecessary.
I mean, it's not unnecessary. It's fantastic to watch. Like it is. Like, if I have the choice between not having UFC and boxing or having people be alive, I want the availability to boxing and MMA on my TV.
Yeah.
It's their jobs to be better. Not my job not my job not to watch it.
So are you speaking at the eulogy later on? Or?
I've not been invited.
Oh, funnily that.
It brings to mind all that stuff, there's a lot of stuff going on in America about whose responsibility is it to protect children and young people and then professionals from damage to their brains. Especially American footballers who are throwing themselves full force into other people. At some point, somebody's eventually going to say, we will not allow you to do this.
The problem is America's such a big country with a variety of IQs, and it's almost impossible to identify how damaging NFL is. Like, you go to Texas and see somebody with brain damage, you're going to see somebody very different with NFL brain damage in New York.
Regional.
Plus, as well, like, if you went in and said, like, hey guys, maybe we shouldn't do all this stuff that like could be beneficial for your health, they'll just say, nah, mate, that sounds like socialism, and they'll just move right on past any well-being.
What
concerns.
we want to do is not have you playing NFL against different sized people until you're maybe 17, 18, and that'll in some way get turned around to like a gun right issue, and that's it, dismissed.
Yeah.
But they have done that in America. Like, although it does get mocked, there's been loads, like, you can't, they've had to now, because the schools are so big and the areas are so big, state college football, they've split it up to, I think it's 16 years old now, where you can't play in the same, you can't be on the same field in American football as somebody who's a stone and a half more than you. So they've now split it into weight divisions. So it's not like somebody over here in high school, sixth year and fourth year could be the same size, so they'll play in the same age group for that time. But as soon as they go to college, that's when it's a problem, because it's like you're going to run into a 250-pound men when you're a spot.
Well, I think that's the pros argument, is that the players coming through don't know how to take a hit safely because they've never experienced a bigger guy. You need to, like boxing, you need to learn how to take a hit.
Do you know what you should do though? See those big pads that the coaches normally stand on in front of them, and it's their job to run in and push back. What they should do is take all the padding off them, their helmet, and then see at which speed they're willing to run into that, and realise that the helmet and the protective gear isn't actually doing anything to the inside of your body, which is why
It's
all
stopping your brain
are fried.
from coming out.
Yeah, it's rattling within the helmet, it's staying within your head, but all that damage is done then. Like it is consistently. That's all they're doing, is battering their head at a speed. That's why rugby, although rugby still has now got is it CTD? What is the actual term for what's going on in their head? You know the thing that Will Smith uncovered and they done a film about it?
The Wild Wild West?
No, I think it's a different film. The actual reason for concussions that was investigated by. So
is it not your brain turns to liquid? I don't know what the scientific name is, but your brain basically turns to liquid.
Whatever it is, they are finding examples in rugby, but what they're saying is rugby's got a lot less of it than American football because they have no padding, and as a result, they know not to run into each other head first at 100 mile per hour.
Yeah.
They know just not to do that because they know that'll hurt everything about me.
But, I mean, I've met a couple of rugby players and they're big lads, but, like, some of these guys that play American football are fucking giant. Like, you would need padding to deal with that. Like, you couldn't, like, run into some of those people. They're fucking monsters.
But it's a wide receiver who weighs 90 pounds running into somebody who's 300 pounds.
Yeah.
is literally walking in and seeing a boxing fight with a £300 man and going, no, you can't allow that. Can't be happening. That should be illegal. I mean, like, have you seen the ones in Japan?
No.
They have non-weight class boxing in Japan, so you can have people who are 200 pounds fighting small guys. It's horrifying because you're never surprised. David never wins. It goes exactly as you'd expect.
Wow, the bigger they come, the harder they fall.
Those are the ones that I'm surprised there hasn't been deaths at. We'll need to put some videos on Twitter and Facebook about that, because you're talking. It's like remember wrestling? It's like Undertaker fighting. Who was the wee Japanese guy? Tajiki. Is that right? I feel like that's right. But he was like a wee 5 foot guy.
Okay.
Fighting Undertaker.
Yeah, but Rey
like
Mysterio won the championship.
We should look into that. There's got to be something dodgy about that, though.
No, it's all above board. But there's things as well about, the footballs that they were using in this country in the 70s causing brain damage from
and
heading.
It has.
Yeah.
But that was because they were leather, and when it was wet, it was actually heavier.
Yeah.
like it was actually physically heavier. We headed those, but we've probably all got it.
Did you ever have a thing in like PE? Somebody would throw a medicine ball at you and pretend it was a football?
Yeah.
Like, heads. You only did that once.
And that was a kid you've probably not heard from since primary school.
Yeah.
What the fuck was a medicine ball for anyway? I never used one in high school.
Because once you got it thrown at you, you needed some medicine.
Oh, all right, okay. I see.
Yeah, still don't know. I mean, it's all good for a lot of balance and stuff, but I would just use weights.
Yeah.
Like I have kettle. Like if you've got kettlebells, you didn't need a ball that was the same weight. It's redundant now.
I hope you didn't pay full price for those and you used your On It discount code.
The Captain America ones. Gary's just blindly not aware, but it's fine. It's okay.
Cool. So that's the deaths.
Yeah.
Done and dusted.
Gone but not forgotten.
We were surprisingly upbeat about a young guy being taken in his prime.
Well, it led to a wider discussion.
He was Russian. It's just payback for Rocky 5.
Rocky 4.
Rocky 4.
I've not even seen it. And
It's 3.
Is it 3?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I think it's 4.
3's Mr. T, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ah, damn, you're right.
I've not even seen these
I don't
Rocky
feel
movies.
like Creed was in that many.
No, he wasn't. He was in 2 of them.
So
was he technically in 3, but he didn't fight him? You know, train him in 3.
Yeah.
And then he was in 4. So technically he's been in actually 4 of the original 5.
That's true.
So he was in quite a lot of them.
We're all having a nightmare.
I've never seen anything past Rocky 1, so I wouldn't.
I have seen them, which is why I'm so confused as to why I think. Yeah, I don't know why I've got it that way around. But that now does make sense, because the 5th one's a terrible one. He's a trainer, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, right, okay.
Tommy Gunn.
Oh my god. The Creed movies are good though. The new ones, very enjoyable.
Good. Did anybody die in the ring?
Not yet, no.
Not yet. So last week we were speculating on it, but now it's come true. Boris Johnson is our Prime Minister.
I mean, I feel defeated. I don't have any anger left. I've got nothing. I'm just the heat death of the world just accentuating, and Boris Johnson's Prime Minister. Fuck it, why not? Sure. Whatever you got.
If it speeds things up, then okay.
Whatever.
They don't care. See the fact Prem Patel was one of the first people they appointed? They don't care. There was no appeasement whatsoever. Like there was nothing. There wasn't even like maybe we should appoint somebody who's maybe not got an awful track record.
Did Rory Stewart get anything, or is he?
No, he resigned.
No,
he resigned.
He resigned. And he's went back to his.
Wow.
So he's an MP for Cumbria. No, he's
I
got
don't know where. He's still an MP, but he resigned from the government.
His job. Doesn't
Wow.
have it.
Yeah, it is when the Home Secretary was previously forced to resign because she had back channels with foreign governments, and the Foreign Secretary previously had to resign because his department was leaking military secrets. And nobody goes, hey, maybe we should stop this. This seems wrong.
No. What do you think Priti Patel will have to do to be made to resign?
I I don't know.
Like just stamp on a child's neck at
No,
private
I don't
even think that would
questions or
be.
something like that. or-
I'd put good money in the fact she's already done that.
There you go.
Yeah, she was terrible. Like that, she had the job that Rory Stewart was holding until 2 weeks ago. Before, and even before the Israel allegations, she wasn't good at her job. Nobody liked her.
She's a horrible person with horrible opinions.
Yeah, she get given a. You know, when you go for a job, by the fact you apply for the job, normally means you either really need it, which she didn't, or you have an interest in the job you're going for. So you think, you know, see if you're doing international aid, you might have an interest in international aid, not like as if you're being forced into a job that keeps you in politics. And that was all it was. She had no interest. She wasn't going to, she was going to meetings in Israel instead of going to meetings in the Middle East, where the money was being spent. Where that was one thing that I did like about Rory Stewart was in the last 2 weeks he posted more videos on site in the Middle East than his previous, I think, 3 predecessors in the role had ever even been. And you're going, aye, so he was cutting about 5 different countries in the Middle East, looking at where the money was being spent and how it was going to develop, and the other guys didn't even bother going. You're like, all right, okay. So there is a decent Tory somewhere.
Yeah,
like there has.
Like if you took enough bits away from other ones, you could like combine like, and you could almost make a human being.
That's what it is, yeah. Because Rory Stewart, like, he voted against. He voted for like bedroom tax. He voted the first time same-sex marriage came round. He voted against it, but like in the grand scheme, you go, he's the closest a human being a Tory's probably ever been.
Yeah.
Almost.
Didn't I also? I think I also heard the new Environment Secretary has consistently voted against environmental policies their entire career.
But that's because it's
all you need to know, right? All you need to tell me is Jacob Rees-Mogg? Yeah, he is in the cabinet as well. Did Esther McVeigh get a place?
Yeah.
Well, fuck it then. What does any of it matter? These positions mean nothing. They mean absolutely nothing if you're giving one to that fucking Jacob. Fucking just really riles me up with his little set of rules for his staff. And fucking.
Oh, did you see the rules?
Yeah, I've seen them. I don't even think I fully understood reading the rules, what the rules were.
Basically, it was grammar rules from the 70s, including some rules that were made up because of the way typewriters worked, but he still wants people to use them.
Cool. I mean, Conroy's pointed out that I still will send one in every one text of mine will have spelling mistakes.
Yeah.
All of them.
You're not in government though, so we can just take the piss out of you for that. No, man. I'm convinced, I'm absolutely convinced if you type in Jacob Rees-Mogg ASMR into Google, you'll just find recordings of the workhouse whale. Like, he's a fucking monster.
He demanded that all his staff...
It's like the Monopoly man came to life.
He demanded all his staff refer to all male MPs as Esquire.
Well, fuck off. Just fuck right off. You absolute fucking...
See, if he was the Monopoly man, though, it would just be getting lower, wouldn't it? Like every time you pass go, you'd go, oh no, it's now 170 quid you get because it's 30% tax.
I do remember
the rent would just constantly go up, wouldn't
it? Yeah. I think when I was in like second or third year, when I was filling in school forms, I did end up putting Esquire after my name.
Why do you do that?
Were you in the Wild Stallion?
No, but what is the formal reason? Why is that a thing? Does it have meaning?
Is it like the same as like calling yourself like a younger man supposed to call himself master instead of mister?
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Is it like just some fucking like finishing school bullshit?
Yeah.
Yeah. Balance a book on your head, call everybody master.
So you can imagine in the Vale of Leaving Academy that went down.
Oh, I can imagine that went down just fine.
So talking of which, one of his first appointments was to visit the lovely riverside town of Helensburgh.
Don't go calling it the seaside. It's not the fucking Riviera.
Lovely bistros on the promenade. Because obviously the first thing you need to do is go review those nukes.
Yeah. You review the nukes and get yourself a Lido.
I thought it was quite funny. Like the night before, obviously, it had been announced he was travelling to Glasgow. So they set up a protest in Glasgow city centre and they said, look, we'll meet up on Suckyall Street and we'll find out exactly where he's going to go and we'll all march there. And then, like, Good Morning Britain pitched up at Helensburgh, like 30 miles down the road. I'm like, oh.
Well, he did go to Manchester the day before that
Mm-hmm.
and was pelted with everything.
That was quite funny.
Yeah, but he probably would have got quite a nice reception in Helensburgh.
Yeah.
That was the alarming thing. Surely there can't have been any prime minister in our history that's like even I'm talking. I don't even think Theresa May. I don't ever recall seeing videos like that of Theresa May.
No,
like getting like actual vegetables and fruit chucked at her.
Well, to be fair, but Theresa May kept her racism quite low key, and
Yeah,
she didn't have a Telegraph article or whatever where she could just espouse horrific shit.
Do you know,
so
it's the cycle of everything that annoys me. Is my mate Ewan sent me the voicemails of him when he was the editor,
Yeah.
and they're agreeing to do damage to someone.
Yeah.
And Ewan sent me that and was like, "Fucking hell, this cunt can't go on now." I was like, "Ewan, that was like big news 2 months ago. That was like massively recycled 2 months ago, and that's how little of an impact it made. Was it you?" Who have an interest and try to keep up to date, missed the fact that him and another person, whilst he was editor, he was giving them the address and he was wanting to make sure that he wasn't going to kill him.
Mm.
There was a conversation recorded of the Prime Minister. Anyone else, that would be evidence to go to jail.
Yeah.
Like 100%.
Yeah.
You are conspiring to cause damage to someone else to the point where you're going, you're not going to kill him. Imagine any conversation that was brought in front of. Imagine your work had heard a conversation that with you. Going like, "You're not going to kill him though, right? If I give you the address, you're not going to kill him."
Yeah.
You'd lose your job instantly because you've been breach of fucking data protection.
Yeah, for a start. Yeah.
at the very least,
Fucking hell, man.
Did you see the pictures of him arriving at Fastlane?
No.
was his hair waving around in the wind?
Yeah, but he was also in a very much like a Churchillian victory stance with his arms out. And I was just thinking the other side of that photo was just some sailors that are just like, oh, fuck, here he's coming.
Do you know what the PM's becoming? It's becoming, see when Ali McCoy's get put in gardening leave for Rangers and they just passed it around Kenny McDowell, Stuart McCall and John Brown
Uh-huh.
because nobody really was qualified.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the PM's now become. Like we need Mark
Gardening
Warburton
leave.
to take over. Aye, nobody wants the job. It's just whoever's next.
Yeah, a group of idiots are saying, no, this is the one that's going to fix it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It's exactly the same.
Yeah, let's just keep going. And the debt keeps getting bigger. I mean, it's almost exactly identical to what happened to Rangers.
Is there anybody that actually says this is a good idea? Because I never see. I never see anything from anybody that ever suggests that this is a good
I
idea.
always find that
like Trump at least has a whole channel on his side, right? He's got Fox. Fox will tell you how great he is and how great he's doing, regardless of whatever anybody else or any other facts would say. Is there anything like that about Boris Johnson?
I did like
Would Piers Morgan even stand up for him?
I don't think so.
Wow.
Who's there is a, I don't know his name though, but there is a semi-liberal person on Fox News who's the only one
The T-boy.
who's the only one who no he's prime time, and he shared on his show a poll that said something like 30% of Republicans who voted for Trump in the previous election wouldn't vote for him again, and they posted about saying, normally a big fan, but this is what happens when you let people from the Democrat side take charge of your news. And the guy retweeted.
Yeah,
and
balance.
the guy retweeted and went, "It was an independent poll. That's how polls work. People that ask questions, we relay the information. This wasn't an opinion. This was just 3,000 people were asked. Like, I don't know how you want us to affect that."
The 3,000 people they asked were at the Democrats' headquarters.
I can't remember who the guy is, but he's very kind of straight down the middle. It's like, yeah, I probably don't agree with what Trump's doing, but I do like guns, so I'm going to wait up and see what happens.
Also, you know, when he left Helensburgh and he went over to Edinburgh, he went to meet Nicola Sturgeon at Butte House, and they stood out on the steps for a photo, and they went to go inside, and he instinctively tried to put his hand on her back to guide her into her own house, and she just ducked and swerved it and just pointed inside. Well done.
Yeah, I didn't think that was as big a deal as everyone made out.
It was funny though. It showed you that they do think about stuff like that.
Do you think so?
Yeah, because all
On a PR
politicians,
level, they will. Yeah.
somebody will be guiding him, saying, "Now make sure you're in control. You need to make sure that you've got the body language."
Do you not think it's literally just an old timey ladies first thing?
No. He's trying to put his hand on the back to guide her in. It's like a power move, like the way Trump does his shake and tug.
Yeah, maybe. I just literally thought it was more of a like ladies first. Because
No, that would require manners and decency.
yeah, but maybe somebody's been really in
Ask
his
his
ear.
girlfriend. He's very, very keen on leading women to where they should go.
The fact that there's been genuine articles into whether or not that's the real Melania that still exists or not is amazing. Like, there have been several articles where people have been convincingly going, the woman's not even the same height. Like, they've shown pictures side by side and she is smaller wearing flat footwear. And I'm going, that is odd. And she does always seem to have sunglasses on.
Fuck it. Eat meat. Throw plastic bottles out. Fuck it. Doesn't matter anymore.
But it doesn't matter because what was the thing 2 weeks ago? They found that like all the stuff's just going to the same place. Which, which we always suspected, but I didn't really know.
They would sell it all to places like China and whatnot. They would sell all the recycling.
All our
there.
recycling's sitting in landfills in China because they set up the targets for how much councils have to recycle, but didn't make sure that there was enough capacity to recycle that amount of material. So we just sell it. So it's not our problem. We hit our targets and we just sold
And then
our
it
rubbish.
goes over there and they go through it and they recycle maybe 9% of it.
Yeah.
So I think some plastic bottles and cans, and there's maybe one or two other things actually do get genuinely recycled. And the rest of it is just fucked into the earth, basically.
Do you think that's why we're trying to get to the moon? Do you think we're just going to just create a big waste space?
Oh, no, they're trying to get to the moon. You and I are not going to the moon.
You don't know what
I'm pretty certain. Pretty certain no one in this room is going to the moon.
My voice was recognised at a restaurant. I'm pretty confident I can do whatever I want now.
So Brexit by October,
Well, why not? Sure.
you think? You think it's possible?
I was listening to a podcast. I listen to other podcasts sometimes on Twitter. And I was listening to the comedian Leo Kearse, who's had shows titled such as I Can Make You Tory and Right Wing Comedian. He's got he puts himself out as a right wing comedian, but he's not like a sort of frothing lunatic right wing comedian. He's like a sensible, good, very funny person as well. He's a very funny comedian. And I was listening to him talk about it, and he doesn't particularly care for Boris either, but what he reckoned would happen, and he's worked with like in statistics and within finance and things like that before. So I'm pretty sure that's where he worked anyway. And
So what you're saying is this guy who's commenting is more qualified than any of the cabinet that's currently employed?
Probably. And he reckoned that Boris will come in, he'll put through a no-deal Brexit, it'll be pure shite, and then we'll end up with a socialist government, and that'll be pure shite as well, because everyone will have just like, they'll have been tired of what's come before, so we'll go the opposite way, and then they'll come in, and they won't do a very good job either, and then we'll end up back somewhere in the middle, where we should have been, I don't know, in the first place, and there will be a whole lot of economic uncertainty. And he seemed a little bit more qualified on the subject than me. So I was like, oh, this is an interesting point.
As long as the podcast model survives through it all, it'll be fine.
Yeah, it's just like all these white guys Venmoing the same £10 around each other. That's what art is nowadays, kids.
Did you hear this week about the fight on the cruise ship?
No.
So it was reported.
Was it the Belle and Sebastian boaty weekender?
Unfortunately not. There was
I'm sorry, I just want to personally just go off on the boaty weekender for a minute. Have you heard of this?
No.
No, it's Belle and Sebastian are curating a cruise that's going from like Barcelona around the Med and stuff. And it's called the Boaty Weekender. And they've got like, they'll be playing gigs on it, and there might be other bands, and there will be a comedian, Alex Edelman, won the Fringe a few years ago. There's also going to be a collage club. So get yourself sorted. Yeah.
How can we arrange that boat to be sunk and do society a
Well, if
favour?
it's a cruise ship, it'll probably do it itself, no problem. So
So a P&O ferry, or cruise ship, it was on a Norwegian fjords cruise. It was on its way back to the UK. And the story goes that a man dressed up for some reason as a clown and entered into the dining room where there was a big family of 8 who had specifically said before they booked their cruise that they wanted assured that there was no fancy dress element on that particular cruise. So they attacked.
they wanted assurances.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, I think what they want is their own fucking boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that kicked off a bit of trouble, which led to plates and glasses being thrown across the whole dining room.
Was it Greek? Were they Greek?
No, they were common. And that kicked off to a big, huge fight with hundreds and hundreds of people on the boat in the middle of the fucking ocean. Maritime rules.
Right, okay.
There's no laws.
We're in international waters though.
The police had to helicopter onto the boat to arrest people.
You mean, right, hold on. The cruises not have police on...
They've got some security staff.
No. So what, if something gets murdered, they just wait for police to turn
They
up?
fly in Poirot.
Oh, it's amazing.
This isn't a gig. Like, you need a police presence.
I think I believe the captain of a ship has the legal powers invested in him to do weddings and arrests. And of course they have a brig, but not a big 100 people fighting.
Is this not just like when that movie came out a couple of years ago and there were people seeing dudes dressed up as clowns beforehand and they thought it was all viral marketing?
Yeah,
well, the second It's coming out soon.
The news that's come out today is that the report of somebody being dressed up as a clown isn't true, and it was just a bunch of drunk fucks.
And that was a reasoning.
Yeah.
I love that the people wanted assurances that like nobody would have fancy dress up on it. And if you wanted that much reassurance, you probably should have just got rich enough to have your own private cruise in the first fucking place. The same way people that like keep their bags on train seats look at you funny when you insist
Want
on
to move?
Yeah. You don't like it, learn to fucking drive.
I was reading some Twitter replies from Americans who were getting very confused about the story because
that's surprising.
Fancy dress in America means black tie. So they're just like, but why would you expect not to have people dressed fancy on a cruise ship? My mum and dad are quite big fans of going on cruises. And I said to my dad, "Oh, did you see that story about the big fight on the P&O cruise?" He went, "Oh, P&O, yeah, I thought so."
You see your dad has cruise snobbery?
Yeah, my working class shipbuilding dad had developed late stage cruise snobbery.
So P&O is like the Jongleurs or Megabus. It's like on that kind of avoid.
It's like the council run cruises.
Oh. I kind of wish it was, even if you hear something like that, I just kind of wish I was there and seen it all go down. Like, it would have been so entertaining. Because they say, a cruise, I assume your dad's told you about them. I don't know if you know. But on cruise ships, I've been told by people that, like, you don't get to choose who you sit with at dinner.
Yeah.
So, like, let's say the three of us go on a cruise, right? And we book on together. And it's romantic as fuck. And we're at the cruise, and there's, like, tables of 8 set out. You're assigned seating. So
like
the
a
three of us. Yeah.
And you're stuck with them for 2 weeks.
Except you know these people even less than other people at a wedding. And you're stuck eating next to them. So you could just be getting fucking anyone. I'm surprised more fights don't break out because of that than somebody dressed as a clown.
When I was 13, I went on a cruise with my best friend's family because it was cheaper to take an extra person than have an empty bed.
Really?
Yeah, because there was a non-occupancy fee. So I got taken on a cruise round the Canary Islands. I was too young to appreciate it, and it was a P&O cruise, and it was like very family orientated, and there was a load of Scottish kids the same age that were all on it because it was the Scottish school holidays had started. So I didn't really get the full snobby cruise white glove experience, but it did, like, when you saw the way people were treating the staff, it did really make you shudder.
It's brutal hours on those. My girlfriend's pal used to work on them, like working in the shops in them, and like the hours are insane.
Yeah, and it's like, even if you work in the shop, you're part of like the evening entertainment.
I think you might be, yeah.
You don't get like a evening off. It's like, right, okay, you've worked here all day, now
and you all bunk in together. Nobody gets separate rooms, so it's all just like, I think like it's definitely a early to mid 20s kind of job where you can,
or if you're like an entertainer, it's like your last job.
Yeah,
I'd imagine you get a lot of old like singers that just do that just for the end. No pension, get kept up, get some money.
Yeah.
They can die.
You feel though like that would be like horrible though if you were like a sort of faded celebrity going on a cruise as like a retirement plan. Just everywhere you went would be, oh, I'd seen you last night. Yeah, yes, thanks. Walk 2 paces along, like try to play Bagatelle, and I can't even get 2 minutes to myself. It's not a holiday I think I'd ever want to go on.
It's never won a will.
No, doing hairdressing as well. People are always like, "Do you ever fancy working on like the cruise ships?" Yeah, fuck.
Did they have a
they-
barber on a...
No, but when I did hairdressing, there was like hairdressers on
Okay.
these things, so you can go like get a haircut or get yourself blow dried for the evening or something like that. But I don't know, fucking just blow dry old women's hair all day.
Man, so the one we were on, so yeah, we would have 12 going on 13. We would have been,
Today's episode is sponsored by P&O Cruises.
and
Somebody's got to boost them.
so they had a PlayStation, and it was the first time either of us had seen a PlayStation, and it was amazing. So they had all these things to keep teenagers entertained. And this afternoon, it was the girls were given a makeup tutorial of how to do your makeup from the people that worked in the place, because if you were under a certain age, you couldn't go in. And the people that ran it were like, "Oh, guys, come on! Like, you know, don't feel like you can't. You can sit with us and be part of this. Don't feel like you have to go somewhere else." I'm like, "Okay, cool. Like, we'll come and sit in it." And my pal James had just bought a white Mighty Ducks ice hockey top, and we're getting all this taught that, you know, they're going, "Oh, this is bronzer and this is foundation, blah 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 blah." And he picked up this pot of like clay, and he was like, "Oh, is that what foundation is?" And he tipped it up to look at it in the light, and not realizing it was a powder, and just this like terracotta tile just went right down the front of his top. And he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And he was like really panicking about how his mum was going to shout at him because he'd ruined this new top. And the girl who was running the thing, the colour just like drained out of her face. And she was like, "That's £250 a tub."
Yep, that's
like,
where they get you.
Wow. So they tried to scoop it from the top back into the...
I will not be going on a cruise anytime soon. Certainly not one curated by Belle and Sebastian.
Did they don't have a Weezer cruise?
I'm
couple
sure.
years ago?
I'm
You're
sure.
making
All,
it worse.
I'm sure all these fucking
You're
lame bands.
making it worse.
There was a new metal cruise. There was a new metal cruise, and Limp Bizkit were on it, and Wes Borland was like tweeting about how much he was fucking hating it and how much he was not looking forward to it.
Surely
Just being stuck on a cruise with all these meatheads.
I don't know how
paid his
he's-
fucking mortgage.
Like, how you've got to think like the whole. He was like, somebody must have just went, "Oh, do you want to come jam with this new band?" And things
No,
just
he liked it. Fuck him.
No,
he
he-
liked it. He made his bed. And it's made of solid money. So fuck him. If he didn't like it, he could have left, and he did leave, but then he came back because the money's too good.
That's true.
I'm sure he's a nice enough guy and everything, but
It's the same reason Charlie's rejoined Busted. It's only for the money.
I didn't even know that happened.
Yeah, they're back on tour.
I also didn't know that happened.
I like to keep an eye on
I know you do, yeah.
Busted news.
I know.
Fight star for life, baby.
Did we talk about?
You don't get to being busted and start a new band and have credibility. That's not allowed.
He was so sad about it though. He just wanted recognition.
Because what he thought he'd done was just sign a free record deal and not realise that there was an option for a 6 record deal, and that he was tied into that deal forever and was going to have to stay with Busted until someone else fucked up. Luckily, one of them got a drug addiction and he did have to disband, so it was fine for him. You were going to say, Gary?
Did we talk about mad cow disease last week?
I mean, is this news from 1995?
Yes, as
I listened to last week's episode. I don't remember mad cow disease coming up.
there's a documentary on about it. And it was talking about the CGD outbreak of the mid-90s.
All right, okay.
And it was talking about, just a documentary going over what happened, what was the reaction, what did the politicians say, what did the industries say. And at the very end, they had this interview with a scientist, and it was dead low key. But what he was saying was that, the thing they've discovered in the last 2 years is that mad cow disease in humans affects people different ways. And what they discovered was, once the work they've done on human DNA, they've discovered that there are 3 different types of DNA that humans have. And all the people that got mad cow disease in the mid-90s
Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease.
Yes. Had type A DNA. And actually, in the mid-2000s, there was a small outbreak all over Britain. And they were worried that it'd come back, but it wasn't. It was people who'd had it for 10 years, lay dormant in their body, and all of a sudden had got symptoms. And they were saying that's type B.
So we're just waiting to see what happens with
they were
type
saying
C now.
They've done some studies, and they found that type C is the most common type of DNA in the UK. So they reckon that the number of people that have already died from it is less than the number of people who will die from it in the next 20 years. But there's no test that they can do to say who has it and who doesn't.
Because it almost seems like it's now impossible. Like your whole body's DNA changes, every 7 years?
Yeah.
So it feels like anything that would be in you would be done by then. Like, to me, I always find this one amazing. Now that I think somebody was talking about this about a couple of years ago. The solution to that was just on the spot binning all meat that anyone had ever and just accepting as a loss. Instead of going, well, we don't know, we might have got our meat from here. You go, no, right, let's just agree, right? See if we bin all the meat that we have just now stored, all of it, it's definitely not going to spread. Yeah, but I think we get ours from France, so I think that was all right. No, what we're saying is if we just bin it all, we get rid of the... It's like, what was the... Gary, you know, you're the crazy life. See, like an STI, is it chlamydia or... Is it chlamydia or herpes, or are they the same one?
No.
There's one that literally, see if everyone in the world right now stopped having sex for 2 weeks, it would never exist again.
Oh, really?
Ever.
I don't know.
2 weeks, it would
Must be chlamydia.
You could literally have all world governments going, right, guys, we need to not fuck for 2 weeks, and it'll be gone. It'll be gone forever, because that's all it can last for. So even if one person got it today, 2 weeks' time, it would never come back. Never, ever come back. But I don't think I've got it, so I'm going to have sex.
Man, I've not had it for years. I've got money in the bank.
You've cured it in so many other people just not by having it. When you say 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks, and we could all be.
That wouldn't exist again.
That wouldn't exist again. Does that include all of the children lining the Houses of Parliament?
That's a good point. Yeah, because you need to be reported that you weren't having sex, and the problem with that is that doesn't get reported.
Right. Okay. That's fine. That's a technicality.
Yeah.
The other thing that the scientist was saying, you've put me off. I've forgotten what it was now. Yeah,
type C.
The meat that harbored the disease was basically like the brains and the eyeballs. So if you're eating like nice prime cuts of butcher meat, you're probably all right. It's just the poor schmucks. They got it, and what it means is that. What year did you move here?
I moved here in 1995.
If we went anywhere else in Europe, John, you and I couldn't give blood, but you could.
Really?
Yeah. Because as far as the rest of the world is concerned, our blood has the potential to be contaminated because of that finding about the type of DNA. So we can only give blood in this country and not anywhere else.
Well, that's all right. We don't want to help anybody else. We just want good British blood for good British people.
Yeah.
So
I don't even want that.
I'd rather die.
It's fucking useless.
So there was a shooting at a food festival.
Where?
In North California.
Get the fuck out of here.
It's in America. That makes sense.
Somebody,
because they do have a lot of food festivals.
Somebody was so angry about the idea of garlic that they went crazy and shot 2 kids.
I'm sorry, but
I'm just trying to, like, 3 dead, including 2 kids, but the 3rd dead is the guy himself, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, he shot 2 kids.
And probably himself.
And wounded 12 at the Gilroy Garlic Festival.
It's one way to ensure vampires don't turn up. That definitely works. I mean, were they his kids? Because then that makes so much sense. Like, I've seen single dads like cutting about with 2 kids, and I go, mate, you know what? If this was America, there is a solution for you.
I don't think so.
It's who's the comedian Jeselnik?
Yeah.
Says that if you kill both your kids, as long as you kill yourself, it's a victimless crime.
Wow.
But is he the dad?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so it's to be confirmed if there's a guilty party.
So where was the good guy with the gun in this scenario?
Eating all the garlic bread. He couldn't get his gun out from his holster because of his punch.
I like the idea of a garlic festival, to be honest. Most things I cook involve garlic. So that would be quite good to see how many new different ways I could incorporate it into stuff.
Of all the food festivals I've heard of being held in America, garlic seems kind of tame.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not as big as the annual corn syrup festival that they have there.
Well,
as well.
The one I've heard of is the bull testicle festival.
Bull testicle.
Where it's just stalls of different ways of preparing bull testicles.
How many different ways are there to prepare?
Apparently lots.
How many people get shot at those?
None. Because they're all too happy.
I suppose you are eating bull testicle. That makes sense. Yeah.
You can't go on a killing spree in a full stomach.
How do you know it didn't go son with a gun kills brother, then dad? Like, you're just assuming the dad's the guilty party here. Like, we don't know. You've given me no details for me to believe that it's not an 8-year-old that's killed both these people.
Well, I'm not saying that they're related in any way. I'm just saying that
that's
3 people are dead and 2 of them were children.
And I mean, there was... Oh God, this is a bit of a corner. It's annoyed where I relay all comedians. But Martin Nelson, Scottish comedian, used to have a bit where you tagged a ridiculous story, but if you tagged in America and said the same story, you went, okay, get it. So if you said an 8-year-old boy shoots a 10-year-old boy and a 32-year-old man, you go, fuck's sake, you go, in America, and you go, nah, that works. Give us a banhammer. Joe, have you put a banhammer?
Every time I come here and bring a banhammer, the banhammer is usually just other people. And it's very hard to find new and exciting varieties of saying other people should fuck off.
I'm on board with whatever Joe wants to put forward.
Anybody, anybody complaining about the good weather? Anybody at all complaining about the good weather? I love
complaining about the good weather.
Oh, fucking surprised. Fucking knock me out of my chair with that revelation.
It's like my number one thing to do.
If you have the opportunity to not be miserable and you won't take it.
Oh, I'll tell you how I've not been miserable this week.
How?
I have a new favorite.
If it involves CBD oil, I don't care. Because I'm done. I've decided weed is bad hammered, right? I'm bad hammering weed.
Why?
Right? Because I cannot listen to another conversation in my work start with, well, I heard on the Joe Rogan podcast. I'm done. I'm fucking done with weed. It's boring. People say like, oh, they've got this idea because they see Joe Rogan smoking weed and he's productive, that it's this cool thing to do and it has all these medical things. And I grant you the medical stuff, but that was a successful man way before he smoked weed. And since he smoked weed, he's become one of the most fucking dull, hard, boring motherfuckers ever. Weed is just it's not a replacement for your personality. If anything, it strips it from everyone I ever have known who got hefty into weed. And I used to enjoy it a little bit every now and then. Don't know if you can tell from my general demeanor, but like
I think I'm that again.
I'm done. I'm all out. I absolutely fuck it. Unless you are taking it for strictly medical purposes, you can jam weed right up your hole. And it probably ingest it better and then you'll get higher. But I don't care. I don't care. Fuck weed. Fuck everyone who smokes weed. Fuck your dealer. Fuck your dealer twice. Yeah, I'm done. I'm all out. Fucking weed can get bad hammered as far as I'm concerned.
There's a new thing.
Well, it's just...
And Jay and Silent Bob reboot. That would never have happened if weed was not out there. Because Kevin Smith might have done something new in the last 20 years.
I almost feel like this makes me the dick, but it wasn't CBD oil.
No, but I started that.
I know, but I just, you know what? it just came to me out of nowhere.
There's like a serious point where any bit of information I do uncover from the Joe Rogan podcast, it is instantly, I will share said fact or said information, and it will be constantly brought back to me. If Joe Rogan tell you that, and you're like, no, it's the guest on. Joe Rogan's podcast,
Oh, right,
actually.
okay. You know, a mountain lion ate my dog once.
Those things are terrifying.
I have a new favourite Bible passage.
Share. Please share.
It's,
What Bible? Is it Lutheran or Catholic? Or
It's just from the New International King James.
all right, okay.
Job 40:15-24.
It's a good one.
Regale me.
Do you want the whole thing?
Regale me, motherfucker.
Look at Behemoth, which I made along with you, and which feeds on the grass like an ox. What strength it has in its loins, what power in the muscles of its belly. Its tail sways like a cedar, the sinews of its thighs are close knit, its bones are tubes of bronze, its limbs are like rods of iron. It ranks first among the worst of works of God, yet its maker can approach it with its sword. The hills bring it their produce, and all the wild animals play nearby. Under the lotus plants it lies, hidden among the reeds and in the marsh. The locusts conceal it in their shadow. The populars by the streams surround it. A raging river does not harm it. It is secure through the Jordan. Should it surge against its mouth, can anyone capture it by the eyes and trap it and pierce its nose? And from that we learn that God is 50-50 on man, but all in on hippos.
Well, I mean, you know,
There are so many better passages in the Bible.
The hippos?
are there though?
I mean, there must be.
The first, God's first creation above all is hippos. That's the best bit in the Bible.
Okay, that's terrible. Gary, why were you not doing something productive?
That is productive. This is what I do to entertain myself.
What, read a book that you've no interest in the religion of?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a problem.
I love hippos.
There must be somebody here who can work on Gary. Not here. We're not. I'm not trained. There's like something waiting to be opened, Gary.
I'm not patient enough, man.
Yeah.
The secondary thing that I think is good about that is now imagining that Chris has gone, oh, I'll see how they're going with the podcast this week, and we'll now be sitting absolutely fuming.
I'm on his
I really
side.
should have interrupted you during.
I was actually thinking about what I was going to do when I go home. I had already got to my car.
I was trying to put a joke together in my head about like making Behemoth wear padding because you know he's too strong in contact sports, but I wasn't quick enough.
I'm sorry, I'm just into hippos.
Just into the Bible. That's all it is. And that weirds me out more than anything.
Yeah, you've gone weird, Gary. We talked about this last week. Mormonism I've accepted.
Have you not been out to like Blair Drummond Safari Park or that recently? You not been getting out?
No,
No.
it's been too hot. I don't like the hot weather.
Mate.
We were at work, Gary. We were in offices.
Yeah.
My shop was 26 degrees last Thursday.
See,
It was beautiful.
I love to be out.
I was searching funny Bible verses. And I
And
couldn't
where
find,
were they?
I couldn't find any. So hippos was the next best thing.
Is that you in the cabinet now? Like, did you read that for Reese Mogg's approval?
Yeah.
And now you're going to be foreign secretary or something like that?
Well, I think I've ground this to a halt, so maybe we should go.
I'm sorry if it was about to the CBD oil thing. I'm sorry. If it helps, it helps.
No, it was me. It was me.
All right. Well, fuck you then.
It was Gary.
It was me. I brought up a book that I don't believe in for laughs, and that was wrong.
Just
That was
angered
wrong
up
of me.
the blood.
Yeah, but I do love hippos, so take from that what you will. That's the parable of today is Gary loves hippos.
We've all learned something.
We've all learned. I don't know about you, but I feel dumber.
Catch you next time.